Today we are going to dive into this retractable banner tutorial. And I'm excited because I'm a weirdo and I just geek out on this stuff, which is why I have this channel. But personally, I really enjoy a good retractable banner when it comes to branding your business, especially if you do a lot of in person events, if you have like a pop up shop, if you have a storefront or a boutique. A retractable banner is just so effective at getting a good solid visual so where that even if you're not present for whatever reason, someone can look at this banner, maybe scan your QR code and just get a quick once over of the information they need. And especially if you're at a trade show setting and it's really busy, it's so great to have a banner or two, there so that even people can't speak with you, they can see what you got going on. And a well designed banner is everything. Like, this is what gets you the line at the trade show. This is what catches people's eye. And I really hate when people get deterred by the cost of the actual banner and they go cheap on it. We don't want that, right? We want it to be effective. If we're going to spend money on it, it should be making us money. Okay, so let's get into it. So, y'all know I have my Etsy shop. So, this design came from my Etsy shop. It is 127 Creative if you're on Etsy. And this is a retractable banner design I made specifically for a clothing boutique. And so, I think in my last video, I took the flyer I made and I kind of repurposed it for a different business. For this, I'm not necessarily going to repurpose it for a different business, but I am going to switch up some of the colors and, fill in some custom text so you guys can get a feel of how to do this. Like, if you download this template or any other template, how do I edit this? And then also, I think a thing that gets missed is how do I export this properly? Because that be having you on a chokehold. So we are going to go over how to export this properly. So without further ado, so this just says clothing boutique, right? That's not the name of your business. I know it's not. Let's say your business name is Linen and Lace. Yep, it's Linen and Lace. So I'm going to type in linen and lace. That doesn't look bad. Sometimes, this top font is super scripty. If we're going to leave this font in place and not use our own logo, which if you have your own logo, I recommend just deleting that and sticking your logo on there. But for now, we're just gonna go with this because one thing that y'all tend to do a lot is using the template as is. If we already have a brand in place, like if we already have our logo in place, ideally we want our logo somewhere at the top. We could even select these shift, select these two. We could move them down and we could, maybe make our logo small at the top, or we could put it, in the middle. We could put it at the bottom. Like, ideally we want it to be at the top though. But just for this video sake, I'm just going to edit as is and I ain't gonna do too much. So Linen and Lace is the name of our business. Right here, this tagline, this is a space for the tagline. Let me zoom in. Command plus sign. So right here it says quiet luxury endless style. That's just the tagline that I made up. And here we go. So let's say your tagline is, I'm not feeling that creative right now, but we sell all the linen and lace. All the linen and lace. Oop, it's a little long. So what do? I'm going to Command A, select all, and I'm going to hit the minus, decrease the font size. Okay. Boom. We sell all the linen and lace, period. So there's that. And I'm gonna scroll down and now I got these pictures of these random people. These people are not wearing linen and lace. So again, I have Canva Pro, and so when using Canva Pro, I have access to a lot of stock photos that you still have access if you don't have Canva Pro, but you don't have as many options because Canva wants all your coins. So y'all know that I'm an Adobe girly, and I be on here struggling, trying to find stuff. Is this where you find the pictures? Yeah, photos. Go down. So I want to find somebody wearing linen and lace. Again, this is where ideally, if you have your own brand photos, right? If you have some models, if you have pictures of your product, you would want to insert this here. You don't necessarily need to use this, but just for this example's sake, I'm just going to pull some images so you can see, because otherwise they would be living in your upload section right there, right? So I'm just going to grab a few. Let me see. Let's say model wearing linen. All right, here's homegirl. She's got some linen on, so I'm just clicking holding, and I'm gonna drag her in here. And you see that little crown? That's that Canva Pro. So they definitely, a lot of these images, usually the better images you find are gonna have that, but you can find some decent images without it. So okay, so I got her there. She looks good. Again, ideally you want your own stuff in here, but let's say model wearing lace. Okay, okay, a little sexy. Let's say that's the vibe we're going for. A little sexy, a little tights. And let's add her. Bam. Okay, we got some linen and we got some lace. So this is making sense. And this is just a list of what the boutique might sell. So linen, you know what's coming next, guys. Linen and lace. And let's say we sell jackets, and let's say we sell pantyhose. And we also sell what is it? Intimates. Yes, what's that word? Intimates. I'm just freestyling. This is whatever you sell. Oh, I already had intimates. I don't know. I don't have to fill all of this out, but you could fill in this. And if you don't have all of the things, you could shorten it. You could just delete this line, and you could, delete this other line, and you could just adjust it. I think it looks good if it's balanced, if you can. If not, it's not the end of the world. But like, see, this is a little balanced, and say it's like, oh, it's a little space right here. I would grab these two and I would bring them down, fill in that empty space, so I could make them a little bigger. That helps with that empty space too. Or you could go in here to your advanced settings and increase your line space just a bit. And that helps as well. So now it looks less like, oh, awkward. Okay. So I'm going to go down. And this is like, this call to action is sign up for our text club and receive 15% off. What if you don't have a text club? Okay. So we could just say, visit our website and sign up today, because we have 15% off. And if you're a boutique, you really should have some sort of email incentive for people to sign up. Not everybody has to have it, but it's a good generator to get your email list up. So let's say that's what we have going on. We have, if you sign up for our emails, you get 15% off. So visit our website and sign up today. 15% off. And this QR code should take you to the website. And there is a way to edit bonk. Let me see. The QR code in Canva. If we go to our left panel and we scroll all the way down, I'm honestly not sure if this is a Canva Pro feature. I'm sure it is. Maybe not. I don't see the crown anywhere. What does it say? I can't tell y'all. I don't see a crown. Maybe this is on all the Canvas. But Canva wants their coins. But anyway, we will go over here, yoursite.com. You type in whatever your site is right here, and you click update code, and then it will update. It's pretty simple. It's already in there for you, so you don't have to worry about generating it. You just go in here and update it. And then down here would be your address. I can't get to my layer. So I have a lot. So the tricky thing about this one, this is why I wanted to talk about it, is that I have kind of not a lot of layers, but I have some background stuff going on. And so in case that was like tripping anybody up, that can get confusing. But if you open up your layers, and I did that really fast, so let me do that again. If you click on any element, you'll get these three dots. You click more, click layer, and then scroll over and you'll get show layer. And then we scroll down. We are trying to find our address layer, and it's a little hidden right now. Let's see where it is. Boop, boop. It's right here. So if I'm having trouble selecting it, I can click on that. And no, it still hates me. So I'm gonna go back. Canva is weird like that. Sometimes you have to click on stuff like twice. Again, excuse me. Y'all know I'm a Adobe girly, and this is why I be frustrated. It's hidden. What is this? So we want to edit this address. We want to edit this address, but it's being a butt. So I'm going to go click anywhere and I can get this more. And I'm going to go on my layers, show layers. And I can see the address. It's right here. I can click on it. Sometimes that acts funny. So if you can, if it makes sense, I could just pull this layer, drag it, click and drag it up to the top. So that now it's not behind anything. And I think it's still behind something. So it's, yeah, being a pain. So let me go back in here, go back to my layers, show layers, and whatever this layer is, I'm just gonna pull it in front of here. I think it's this. It's like hiding behind that, but it's okay if it's in front of it because it's not messing up the design. So this is where we're gonna go in and type in our address, 123 my street. You edit that if you want. Of course, if you don't want your address, if you maybe don't have a physical location or you're using this for something else completely, you just bam, delete that. And then right here is where your social handles would be. And then having the same issue. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go in my layers and I'm going to go find the social information. I'm going to just shift, click these three things, shift, drag them up so that they're above that layer. It's like trying to eat everything. Okay. Now I can go in and edit this to my handle. I can add social media icons. You can add your social media icons. You can go into elements and you can type in Facebook icon. You can go over here and you just click on the one that makes sense and make it fit whatever your audience, wherever your audience is, wherever you have social platforms, you can add or subtract these right here. And we want to go to our layers. That should be at the bottom. And we want to be able to edit next. Oops, sorry. Let me go back to my layers. We want to be able to edit our website next. And everything is kind of hiding behind this layer again. We go in here and you would type in your website. You could even go to the bottom, and I just typed in a generic tagline. It just says endless style. But say you wanted to say linen, you already know what's coming next, y'all. And lace. That's a little big. Maybe you could size that down a bit. Linen and lace. And then be mindful, anything that you put too close to these edges is going to get chopped off. So if you have some text out like that, unless you want it to get chopped off, right? Unless that's the vibe. But if not, then you might want to play with your font size and bring that down, because you definitely want to give a good amount of bleed. Depending on the printer, they'll ask you for a specific type of bleed. But as a rule of thumb, I just try not to get stuff too close to the edge unless it's supposed to be there. So there's that. And we could even customize this even more. Let's say that we want to do something with this background picture. So we are going to go to click out of that. Let's say we're really feeling this picture. This is good for our target market. So we're going to take this picture and blow it up, drag it out. And we're going to make this the focal point, just like we had the other picture, but we need to go to our layers. And we're going to show layers. And we're going to drag it down to the bottom. And this is popping, like it's very bright, but now we can't read our words, so we don't want that. You can see that this is still faded in the background. It's not giving the same soft effect, and we want it to have the same soft effect. And you get that by, going to your transparency and turning it down. Turn it down. And I would say, again, when you get things printed, it's just gonna not look the same as it is on the screen. So I know you probably want a lot of contrast or maybe more contrast. Like, I can't see the picture, but trust me, if it's too dark, to me, like this is a little dark. Like when you print this, it's gonna be really hard to see those words, and people are gonna, that's how you get ignored. And you want people to be able to focus on the words first. Because if everything's important, nothing's important. Remember that when it comes to design. So we're going to bring this down to like a 5 because everything's going to look darker once it gets printed, basically. And we want to get rid of this other one because now they're kind of fighting and we don't want this anymore. So we'll delete the old one. Say, okay, that's kind of a vibe, right? We like this and it's looking real custom. And we could even change up the color. If your colors are not pink, if your brand colors are different, you would click all the way on the bottom, click on this background color, go into your background color, and you could change it to any color in the sun. Excuse me. You could change the type of gradients. Like, that's kind of cute. Again, be careful about these words. You want to be able to make the words visible, but it just depends on your brand colors or what you have going on because you can make it in a solid color. Obviously, we wouldn't want to make it that solid color, but make it a nice little red. Like, since this brand is kind of sexy, maybe we want to leave it as a red. We can make it a gradient because we have solid color or gradient. We could come in here and now it's a little pink and a little red. And if that's not what you need, you can go in and play with that and you just come back, click on your colors, and you could either eyedrop a different color. You see how it's giving it a different look? That's kind of cute. I like that. But if that's you can switch up the transparency. I do like Canva's little gradient tool. I like it. It's convenient. And yeah, you just play with that until it makes sense for you. Or if you have your brand color codes, type it right there, copy paste it. So now we're happy with this. We think this is real cute. We want to print this. So if you're using a third-party printer, I'm sure most of you are using a FedEx or a Kinko's or a local printer or something to that effect. You would go to share and you would go to download. And like I say, Canva wants all the coins. So Canva Pro is what's going to allow you to get that CMYK print. And that's the color space that you need when you print items and you want them to appear proper. Like, you don't want the colors to look off, and you can print things in RGB, but the colors are going to appear differently. So this is how they get you because they know that, CMYK is really what you need. So you're going to have to pay for Canva Pro if you want to get the best file that you can have. So we're going to go to CMYK, best for professional printing. And depending on the printer, they might ask you to send crop marks or bleed. This is what they're talking about. You would go back here and check that box. And then on your PDF file, it would have those crop marks and those bleeds. And then you could download and you're good to go. That'll be in your downloads folder. And you take that PDF and you upload it or you send it accordingly. And that shouldn't, you should be good with your design. Shouldn't have to do anything else. And make sure, one last thing. Make sure that it's sized correctly. So most of the time it's going to be like a 33 by 81 usually. This is a 33 by 78. It depends on your printer. So let's say your printer is like, this needs to be a 33 by 81. And you're like, ooh, that's not quite right. To know what it is, you go in your file. And this file that I've made is a 33 by 78. We need it to be a little bigger. So we go into resize. And again, this is a Canva Pro thing. You would custom size 33, 81, and then you would just resize this design. We don't want a copy of it. We want this to be that size. So we would click resize this design. And I'm going to give you like a workaround. Let's say if you don't have Canva Pro and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? You would just Command A. You would just Command C, just copy and paste your whole design, basically. This is just a quick way to do it. And you would make a new file and you would make it custom. And you would 33 by 81, not pixels. We want it to be 33 by 81 inches. Sorry. So first you change the unit of measurement. 33, 81. Create new line. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go back and I'm going to click on my layers, show layers, and I'm just going to click the top layer, click all the way to the bottom. It won't let me click the background, so I'm going to just shift Shift hold, grab all my layers, and Command C, copy and paste them basically. So you see it's not copying exactly how I want it to copy. It's for whatever reason copying real small. So what I need to do is drag it out. Drag it back out. And it's kind of difficult to see right now because I don't have the background on there. But I'm just gauging by looking at these pictures. They're a little small, so I'm just going to stretch it out till it looks kind of right. And I still need my background. So click the three dots, go to layers, show layers, and I can go back in here, scroll all the way down. I'm just going back and forth between my old file and my new file. And I just Command C, copied this, or you could go like in here and click copy and click paste, and boom. Now my file is 33 by 81, and that's what I need it to be. So please make sure that you have your print specs right before you download it and adjust accordingly. Again, Canva Pro makes it a lot easier to adjust these things, but either way, you don't want to send it to the printer with the wrong file size because that's how your stuff looks distorted, and we want to avoid that. And now that we're done, it's the same spiel. We would go back to share, to download, PDF print, select these if you need to select these depending on what you have going on. And we want CMYK, and then we click download, and then we're ready to send it to our printer. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Please like and subscribe if it was. And if you really like this template and you want to use it for your business, just head over to my Etsy shop. It's 127 Creative, and it can be yours.